Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Will we see a resurgence of sci-fi shooter video games? This is the question I want to ask you guys. I'm asking this question because of repeating events, just taking note of history. Let me explain what I'm talking about. When the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, and its sequel, Modern Warfare 2, when those came out, and when those games became such a huge, enormous success, there was an insurgence of modern military shooters. While of course we got sci-fi shooters here and there, and some fantasy ones, of course, in between all the modern military shooters, there were shooters in between the cracks. Or should I say, in between the massive overflow of modern military shooters, there were of course the sci-fi and the fantasy and the bizarre and the more special, unique kind of shooters. But for a few years, the modern military shooter was the big blockbuster, it was the indie, it was the budget. The modern military shooter was the game everybody was trying to make. I mean, just year after year, it was modern military shooter. There was a Call of Duty every year. There was a Battlefield every year. Medal of Honor became a thing and quickly died out. Then we have the countless indie and budget games that were modern military shooters. For the longest time, the modern military shooter was just... It dominated. It dominated gaming. It dominated sales. It dominated YouTube, for God's sakes. It still is. It's still a big chunk of YouTube is still dedicated to the modern military shooter and just, well, the freaking guns. Have you seen how many gun reviews there are of Call of Duty guns and Battlefield guns on YouTube? It's bloody ridiculous. For just the longest time, a few years, the modern military shooter was top dog. But now, people are growing extremely tired of it. And the past couple years, we have seen the sci-fi shooter starting to rise up. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Titanfall, Evolve, Destiny, Halo, of course. Halo has always been persevering. Even when the modern military shooter took over, Halo always persevered. But yeah, did you guys see? Did you feel the hype? Just the overwhelming hype before release, the hype for Titanfall, the hype for Destiny, the hype for Evolve. Granted, the hype was unrealistic and stupid and flippin' parasitic and ended up damaging the games, but the fact that there was so much hype for science fiction shooters, that people wanted Titanfall to be the new Call of Duty, people wanted Destiny to be the new Halo, people wanted Evolve to be the new Left 4 Dead. People wanted these new IPs and franchises to be perfection. They wanted their next-gen shooter experience, as much of a silly concept as that is. It shows that there's a want, a need, there's hype for science fiction shooters, more so nowadays than modern military. People who were burned on COD came back to it because, well, Call of Duty ripped off Titanfall. I'm not making any accusations or anything, just a joke. Just a joke. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, nowadays, developers and publishers are looking for science fiction. They're looking for those new IPs. They're looking to change old ones and make them sci-fi. I can't tell you what the growing interest in sci-fi came from. I mean, everybody's always loved sci-fi, from movies to novels and of course video games. That's a no duh, but let's admit it, there's a market out there, there's a populace out there of people who bought every single modern military shooter and played the multiplayer for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. You know, those kinds of people that won't even touch an RPG or a horror game or an RTS, all they play is the latest military or multiplayer shooter. You know those kinds of people who won't branch out? Yeah, there are millions of those kinds of people, and now, somehow, someway, I can't tell you how, there's a greater craving for sci-fi. I can't tell you exactly what it is, what's created this resurgence of science fiction in video games and how that's become more and more popular, more and more talked about, more and more hyped up, apparently. But yeah, now the question stands. Are we going to see a resurgence of science fiction in our shooters? Are we going to see more Titanfall-like games? Are we going to see more mechs in video games? More mechs, more jump packs, more parkour? Are more games going to try and emulate Titanfall and what made it such a, believe it or not, think what you may think, a success? Titanfall was a success. It sold millions. And despite the many accusations and degrading statements about Titanfall's player population, there are people who play Titanfall, like me and others, who play Titanfall every single day and have played it every single day since it came out. Titanfall has created a community, a fan base. There is now a craving for this kind of shooter. And then look at Destiny. As many of you as there are who are very disappointed and angry with Destiny, we can't deny the statistics. We can't deny the factual results that Destiny made a bloody fortune, and other developers and publishers are going to take note of Destiny's success. So are we going to see more games like Destiny, more sci-fi shooters that try to branch out into be kind of like MMO games? And just like Titanfall, there are people who play Destiny every single day and have continued to play Destiny since its release. Then let's quickly talk about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. You guys know my thoughts on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I find it just a tad bit suspicious, that so many elements from Titanfall, names included, are in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. But hey, that's just my thoughts, just my feelings. I don't have any facts or statistics to back me up on my thoughts or feelings on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. But we can't deny that millions, as we speak, millions, if not hundreds of thousands, are playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare right now, while you're watching this video, while I'm making this video. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, playing Advanced Warfare right now. Not necessarily for the fact that it's sci-fi, that it does play a factor into this, but mostly because it's Call of Duty. And as we know, based on markets, based on the video game industry and how it was reacted, because Call of Duty is a franchise that greatly affects the industry because it's top dog. It sells the most copies next to Grand Theft Auto. These games affect the industry, like it or not. Now, Call of Duty is a sci-fi shooter with mechs and exosuits and robots and sci-fi stuff. It's a sci-fi shooter. So, with all this combined, with these games seeing the hype and the sales and just the overall results that these games have created, are we going to see a resurgence of sci-fi, science fiction shooters? First person and third person. What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Just what do you guys think of the future of the shooter, the big blockbuster shooter? Is modern military finally dying out? Is it taking a nosedive? Is sci-fi going to replace it? Or are devs and publishers going to look to new avenues? Are they going to go back in time and give us World War II shooters again? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What do you think is the future of the big blockbuster shooter? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading comments. I don't get nearly enough comments. Please leave me a comment, your thoughts, your opinions, your questions on this topic in the video of the gameplay, whatever. Anything about this video, comment about it. Please leave a comment. Finally, if you like the video, if you like the subject, if you like the gameplay, if you like anything at all about this video, please leave a like. It helps a lot. It helps me, helps you, helps everybody involved with the video. If you leave a like on this video, hit that like button. Very appreciated. And finally, I am the Gamertron. This is the Gamertron Show. I love video games, and I love talking about video games, and if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Anyways, this has been a video, and I will see you guys later.